It also naturally increases metabolic rate. I've actually seen some pet parents have said it's helped deal with their dog's fatty tumors, their lipomas. Giving a quarter of a cup or 20 pounds of body weight daily of green tea increases their metabolic rate. These tumors start to shrink, all because of green tea. There is a moderate amount of caffeine within the green tea, but if you give it that measured amount, about a quarter of a cup or 20 pounds of body weight daily, you're going to do your dog no harm, potentially a whole lot of good. Green tea, it's got the polyphenol EGCG, and this is just very impressive anti-cancer compound. It's been extensively studied, so it's being used in people and our animals specifically for that. Then lastly, there's the amino acid L-theanine, which is a really high concentration of this in green tea. And it's probably one of our most important supplements that we have for animals that have ongoing anxiety, like L-theanine. So all of that and more is in green tea. So you've got this like great little natural herbal option. Green tea, probably in your house right now. Definitely consider using this for your dogs and cats. Cassian had an eye infection, for instance. I drew up some concentrated green tea, and then he was pretty good. He was pretty good. I love my point. I put 2 drops into his eye. I did that 4 times a day. Honestly, I did it for about 2 days. Infection was gone. Green tea is a great option. Number 3, this is everybody's favorite calming tea. This is chamomile. And if you see how chamomile can to offer this soothing benefit to you, help decrease anxiety, this comes from a specific flavonoid called apigenin. It binds some of the receptors in the brain, so it's naturally decreasing brain activity. It's very safe, and the very same principle can be applied to our animals. So you have a dog with, say, ongoing anxiety, it would be a fine option to then just switch out the water bowl. Instead of them just drinking water, substitute in chamomile tea. Likewise, say you've got a cat who's got repeated urinary tract disease, you can think of substituting in chamomile tea. An easy way to do it, make about a cup of chamomile tea, and you're going to be giving about a quarter of a cup for 20, 25 pounds of body weight daily. It's fine. Put a quarter of that cup in your cat's water. Chamomile may even offer some anti-cancer properties. So yeah, it would just be a good overall thing to have your dog or cat consuming chamomile daily, especially if we're dealing with any animal that's dealing with any ongoing anxiety. Or people. Number 4, coming from the leaves of a stinging plant. This is nettle leaf tea. Nettle, it's very nutrient dense, considered one of the most nutrient dense plants. So it's rich in vitamins A, E, C, and K. Rich in key minerals, including calcium, magnesium, potassium. The nettle tea is especially high in that wonderful including calcium, magnesium, potassium. The nettle tea is especially high in that.
sure. It's okay. I'll have you recorded. Quiet. Record working. Here's something I'm not the rich of the world.
Okay, hello everyone. Some of you are on YouTube and some are in Zoom. I'm Dr. Beverly. I guess I could do a stop share. The problem I have with, let's see here, speaker. Um, uh, okay. I don't know how to make myself show up. Okay, we'll go back to share screen. Oh, there we go. So I don't know how to make myself show up. I'm not showing up. But anyway, the first part of the program tonight of Wisdom versus Spectacle is a live podcast. I normally do not do them live. I'm going to start doing one live podcast a month. So this is the February podcast. So I will no longer do them uh, and post them weekly on YouTube. So only people on my email list and that are members will actually get to view the podcast. So I'm going live on YouTube to announce that I will only have shorts in the future on YouTube. The Q&A part will only be for people in Zoom. I will not be broadcasting that on, I forgot to record. Hold on a second. Record. And I'll just do I probably don't need to do a share sound, but we'll share sound just in case I play something. Anyway, tonight's podcast is Wisdom versus Spectacle, and it's about going through what we're going through right now. In case you haven't felt the energy, probably this week is the biggest energy shift for 2026. And it's been building up for the last 2 years. January was pretty strong. So this is the podcast part. The Q&A part will be in Zoom only, and that's just for my subscribers. So what I'm going to talk about is first an orientation, what does this talk about? Why I was inspired to do this talk? Discernment before healing, integration in daily life, preparing for the next cycle, and then the live Q&A at the end. So this is the what I called it orientation, and here I called it staying clear in a noisy spiritual environment. So one of the things that happened for me is last year I started noticing that there was most of the YouTube it's like YouTube's the new TikTok. There was lots of shorts, and people don't want to watch long podcasts. And I like to use the podcast as a teaching. So I thought, I'm just going to share that with my audience and do some shorts on YouTube. And if you're interested and want to dive more, you can go and be a subscriber in my organization. The other thing I noticed was that ever since AI became popular, a lot of the videos are not real people. They're not real voices, and they're copying each other. So if you listen to a YouTube about, pick a subject, I don't know, I just listened to one on the Gnostic belief system. Well, when you watch something like that, all of a sudden you got 20 more videos on the exact same subject, and they're all AI generated. That's not me. I'm going to do things for real. You'll always see me presenting. And so I shut everything down in my business in November. I pre-recorded December and posted all those videos ahead of time. And I meditated, and I realized I can't even start in January. I had things that were supposed to start in January. I says, forget it. And so then I thought, well, I redesigned all my websites. I redesigned my business. I'm still in the process of changing things, but I decided not to go live in February. So I'm giving away the membership for free. So in the future, you have to be a member to get this, but this month I'm giving it away for free. And for those of you in Zoom, I will be giving you a bunch of handouts, the monthly gifts, and it will include, I think I put together 3 extra bonus gifts. You know me, I like to give things away for free. So the problem we are actually solving is spiritual information is everywhere, and some of it isn't even true. I look at it, I go, what? Because I've been doing this for decades. Trust me, not everything out there is credible. More content does not equal more clarity, especially when it misleads you. Many people feel overwhelmed or unsettled. I wasn't overwhelmed, but I was very unsettled. But I did have to cut back on, well, I already was doing very little social media, but now I only go to Facebook when I get an email that says you need to check this. Otherwise, I don't even do Facebook. I've cut way back on YouTube, and I'm not in Twitter. What do they call it? X now? I don't do Instagram. I don't do Pinterest. I don't do Rumble. I don't do any of that stuff. And it's just swiping. How much time, screen time? I mean, people who are parents limit their children's screen time. What about you? Are you limiting your screen time? Or you are going like this? It reminds me of, I'm not in any of these, meet your mate kind of apps, but I've seen them, and you go like this, you sit there for hours swiping. So this can lead to affecting your mind. It's not personal failure. This is an environment overload. So you're being bombarded with all kinds of information, and you don't have time to integrate it, and you don't have time to discern if it's even worth listening to. So that's what's going on. It happened to me. It hit me pretty hard. So why the information is not the answer? Why more information is not the answer? Well, you're already on information overload. Why would more help you? So acceleration is real, but panic is optional. In other words, time, I don't know about you, but it feels like the last couple of years went really, really fast. And January sped by really fast. And I can barely keep up with February. To me, time has really sped up. And with that speed has come a lot more content, but the content is not, I don't know how to say this. It's repetitive. It's too much of the same. It's which can lead to overwhelm if you're bothering to watch it all. So overexposure creates false urgency. So when you hear a lot of people saying, oh, this is going to happen, and the words they use, oh, this is catastrophic, or this is astronomical, and all these big words, it's like the end of the world. Oh, you won't believe what the what do you call it? The Supreme Court just did. And then you look at the article and it says they may consider looking at the, there was nothing there. It's just clickbait. And I went, you know what? I don't want to waste my time with that kind of stuff. So I just cut back on everything. I have down days. I have times of day when I can look at my phone, because I mostly read email on my phone. So I keep up with email mostly. But I just don't want to waste my time with all that stuff. I have other things to do. So discernment is a health skill. In a lot of my classes, we talk about discernment. If you've taken my free Home for Success class, discernment is the first initiation. It's what we're supposed to learn first. And discernment is what I see as the biggest missing thing in the world today that I see among most people is the lack of discernment. We're going to talk about more about that in this talk. So it's not a belief system. Okay. It's not, do you believe in discernment? It's, are you able to discern? And when you're not, it affects your health. So clarity requires regulation before interpretation. So you can't interpret anything if you're so busy swiping and scrolling and I'm going to see how fast I can get through all of this. There is no interpretation time. So staying clear in a noisy spiritual environment. So this is the next part of the talk. Why discernment comes before healing or awakening. So if you're not using discernment, you're not here, number one, and you're not awake. And if you're having any kind of health issues, this is what you need to work on, the healing aspect. I don't know if you can hear the little boop boop, but sometimes people request to join Zoom. So if you hear it, I don't know if you can or not. So if you hear it, I apologize. So discernment is not knowing more. Discernment is not collecting frameworks or structures. Discernment is not tracking every explanation. Discernment is the ability to pause and notice what stabilizes versus destabilizes. So accumulation is when we're just accumulating more and more and more stuff. We don't have the time to integrate it. We create frameworks and structures around it, but we're lacking the discernment. Okay, so those of you who have joined late, you haven't missed much. We're still at the beginning. Okay, how spectacle hijacks the nervous system. Now, as you may or may not know, I'm a medical astrologer, and very soon we're going to have Uranus going back into Gemini. That affects your nervous system, and it's affecting everybody, and it will be there for about 8 years. So this is a long-term thing. And we have Pluto in Aquarius, and Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. So look in your natal chart, where's Gemini and where is Aquarius, and what do you have in those two signs? And that will determine how intense this will be for you. So it's going to be intense for everybody. These outer planets, these big ones, affect the whole Earth and everyone on it. But it affects some people more than others. For example, I have Uranus, Uranus going into Gemini. Well, we all have Uranus going into Gemini, but my natal Uranus is in Gemini. And I currently have, we all have Pluto in Aquarius, but my Pluto is in the second house, which points to my 8th house, which is where Pluto is. So I have that Pluto conflict going on. So it just depends on your chart as to how this will affect you. And we'll talk a little bit later about some of the bonus gifts that I have that'll help you understand that for yourself. So this causes emotional activation. So let's see if I do a stop share and see if I can get myself view profile. No, that's not what I want. How do I make myself choose virtual background? And is that, well, there we go. Now I'm there. Okay, now I have to figure out how to get rid of that. Oh, you can't see it. Okay, I'm going to ignore the fact that I popped something in front of my face. Okay, so let's say this is your peripheral vision. Okay, but when you're under stress, it goes like this. You can't see what's over here or over here. Or let's say you're on overwhelmed from information. You go from here down to here. Ooh, so whatever is affecting you is narrowing your ability to perceive, which diminishes your ability to discern. Let me see if I can get back to Canva. There we go. Okay, so let me see if I can fix this thing. I don't know how to make, I've got this thing right in the middle of my screen and I don't know how to get rid of it. Okay, so emotional activates the perception, urgency reduces reflective capacity. So in other words, if you feel, oh, what's going to happen? Oh, I've got to take care of this. Or what do I do? You do not have the ability to sit back and think about it. You don't have the ability to use your discernment about, was that even true or was that someone speculating? And there's a lot of speculation going on these days. So fear and excitement create false certainty. Fear and excitement. So when you get urgency, you get excited. When people create fear, and there's a lot of fear mongering going on. Oh my God, this is going to happen. And when it does, everybody wants their clickbait. So they're doing all this stuff to get you to watch. And narrows perception. Yeah. So when the nervous system is activated, discernment decreases. So it's very, very important. And all last year, all my podcasts, if you didn't see any of them, you can go back, and almost every single one of them, I gave you ways to deal with nervous system overload. I've been talking about this for quite a while. And when you're nervous, I used last year, I used an entire bottle of Rescue Remedy, which helps you stabilize trauma because it was just a crazy year. And I went through almost an entire tall bottle of lavender, lots of chamomile tea. So I've been doing everything I can to try and keep my own nerves settled. And I ended up having to take a couple of months off just to regroup. So how is your discernment? And how have you been the last 2 years? And what are you doing about it? So authority replaces subtle dependency. I can't even read my slides because this thing is, let me do a stop share again and see if I can find the 3 dots and fix this. Oh, I know if I go to participants, I think there's 3 dots there. Remove pin. No, I want the pin. There we go. Okay, that got rid of it. It was driving me crazy because it was covering up half my slides. Okay, we'll go back over here. Sorry about that. Okay, so, oh, now I got something else. There we go. Authority replacement and subtle dependency. This replaces check for yourself. So trust me, listen to that. In the past, the rule was if someone says, trust me, you can't trust them. But do this. Check for yourself. Don't assume everything you're hearing is correct. I do a lot of Google searches every day, probably anywhere from 8 to 10. And 3 or 4 of those 8 to 10, I report because it's giving the wrong answer. And that's Google search. And then I'd go to Chat GPT and I said, this is what Google told me and it's wrong. And it says, yeah, it's wrong a lot. Then it gives me the right answer. But Google is really good for single item searches. Like I'm a terrible speller, so I'm always putting the word in Google and it usually figures out what I'm trying to say. So there are times when I like Google, but I actually block all the other search engines because they have an even higher rate of error. So check everything. Don't assume that because you heard it is, the old saying was just because you read it doesn't make it true. A lot of people today don't read. I got stacks of books everywhere. I still read. But a lot of people today watch a video. Well, just because it's on a video doesn't mean it's true. So always double check. And that's why you can't be on information overload because you don't have time to integrate that energy. So special language replaces lived integration. How many people will say, oh, it's called this? and someone else says it's called this. And they all have a different word because they all want to be unique. Look what I know. Nobody else knows this, and they just used a different word. That's again where you need to integrate what you know so you can see through what people are doing and avoid a lot of clickbait. Identity replaces understanding. So just because someone is famous doesn't mean they're saying things in a way that you can understand. I've seen a lot of people I listen to, and it's like, what the heck are they talking about? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, especially some politicians that will remain nameless. I'm not going to name any names here. I'm just saying this is what's going on around us, and that's why I'm dropping out of all of that nonsense. So mature systems strengthen internal authority. So if you're listening or learning something, and at the end you feel like, oh, I'm dumb, or I don't understand, or that's not you. When you learn something afterwards, you should feel, wow, I'm okay. Because guess what? You're all okay. One of my pet peeves are you're chosen, you're special, you're this, and they base it on some arbitrary, crazy thing. Guess what? You're all chosen. You're all okay. You all have the spark of divine in you. So don't let anybody tell you you're not one of the chosen because you don't have one of those signs. And some of the signs they give, everybody has that. Really? It's clickbait. So mature systems strengthen internal authority. So always put your hand on your heart and ask, do I feel stronger and better within myself, or do I not feel stronger, better within myself? And if the answer is no, then I unsubscribe. And I've been unsubscribing all over the place. They do not replace you and your inner authority, your inner knowing, your ability to discern and make up your own mind. You don't have to be told. That's part of the changes of Pluto in Aquarius, is becoming your own authority and relying on it. So signs something is destabilizing. This is what happens when you're not using discernment. Even if it sounds elevated, but you feel destabled, I think I said that wrong. Increased anxiety after exposure. Like I was saying, you don't quite feel right. Maybe you check in with your heart. Something's off. Yeah, something's off. Do you need to waste your time trying to figure out what, or do you move on? I move on. Pressure to decide or believe immediately. And there's a lot of that going on today. Oh, this is going to happen by this date, and this happened in 200 years ago. And if you don't do this, or you don't buy this class, or you don't do that, or whatever they're selling. Tonight I'm not selling anything, okay? In fact, if you go to my websites, it says coming soon. I don't even have stuff for sale yet. Okay. So this is just me telling you what I've been through the last few months and what I've had to do to restabilize myself and be more of my own authority and not listen to some of the craziness going on these days. If you feel behind or unprepared, no, you're not behind. You are in the perfect place for you at this point in time. We're all a different age. I'll be 80 this year, okay? Unless you're my age, you don't even remember half the things that I remember because you weren't here. Things are really different when you start to, I decided I'm gonna write a new book. What happens every 10 years from 40 to 80? I won't do 90. I'll have to research it maybe. I had a lot of geriatric patients in the 90s who were very, very healthy. You do not have to be sick and in a wheelchair when you're 90. Okay. I'm not sick and in a wheelchair, and I'll be 80. Okay. I'm very healthy. So you do not want increased anxiety that leads to diminished health. You do not want to respond to pressure to decide. You want to do a timeout. Just take a timeout. I'm going to stop. I'm going to maybe sleep on it. If you're in human design, you're an emotional, either emotional projector, an emotional manifester. You do not want to decide in the moment. You need to sleep on it. Now, I'm a splenic projector, but last year, even my intuition was haywire. And then this year, I have an internal pendulum. And when I tried to use it the other day, it was crazy. When I used a pendulum, it worked. And so I went into meditative and I connected to, and I says, what the heck is going on? He says, don't use your internal pendulum anymore. It's just yes and no. You don't want yes and no. You want a full answer. I went, oh, thank you. It gave me the full answer. So from now on, I'm not going to ask yes and no questions. So by going in to your inner self and meditating, I like to put the hand on the heart and the other one on your belly. So you activate your belly brain, which is your feelings, and then your heart brain, which is your compassion. Your belly brain is where the love is. A lot of people think the heart is about love. The heart chakra controls the heart, but the third chakra controls the physical heart. So you need to keep that sorted out in your mind and as to where things lie. And fear turns off love. Fear turns off discernment. Fear narrows your view. So you don't want to be in fear. So whatever is pressuring you to decide, making you fearful, feeling behind, feeling unprepared, if you need constant input to feel oriented, you need to slow down. These are all nervous system signals. This is not spiritual failure. This is the energy we're in right now. Pluto will be in Aquarius for the rest of all of our lives. It's going to be there for a long time. Well, not everybody, but most people's lives. Uranus, 8 years in Gemini, where it's stimulating our nervous system. And so we'll talk about the vagus nerves again. I talked about it in almost every podcast last year, how to work with your vagus nerve. So the next subject is what real integration looks like in daily life. So how do you know you're integrating what you've learned or are learning or what's going on around you right now? So it's lived, not decoded. So no one else can integrate for you. This is work you have to do for yourself. Okay? No one can do the work for you. This is why I give away Home for Success for free. I used to teach it. I had fun teaching it. It was a lot of fun. But people weren't integrating the information. And I went, you know what? I'm just going to give it away for free. And some people will do the work and some people won't. And that's their business. It's up to you. Do you want to integrate? Do you want discernment or not? I can't force you to integrate. I can't force you to use discernment. That's your choice in how you want to live, how you want to be. So integration shows up in daily life, not in endless interpretation. If it does not help you live, it is incomplete. If it does not help you live, it's incomplete. That's where you want the big picture. You want to take a moment. Don't make quick decisions, but decide for yourself. How wisdom simplifies decisions. You have clearer boundaries and you don't let other people step over them. And you do it obviously in a positive way. There's many positive ways to have clear boundaries. And you have those with your family, with your friends, as well as strangers. I think it's easier with strangers and it's a little bit harder with friends because they're used to seeing us a certain way and maybe we change our boundaries. I know I have over the years. It's hardest with our family and people that we live with because they see us as we integrate and we grow. We actually change on the inside, which starts to change the outside. Now they're uncomfortable with us because they don't understand. So it creates some challenges there. So you have to be aware of it. You become less reactive. So when you make decisions that you know are right for you, you don't have to react if someone doesn't like it. That's their business. They can not like it. That's okay. You thought about it. You decided this was the right thing for you. Greater tolerance for uncertainty. How much uncertainty is there in the world right now? Anybody that tells you they know exactly what's going to happen, and there's a lot of them out there in many different fields. No, I'll give you a good example. In 1968, I moved from Hawaii to California, to San Francisco. And I was told in 1968 that California was 30 years behind in falling into the ocean. That was 30, 40, 56, 58 years ago, almost 60 years ago, that it was already 30 years overdue. That's 90 years. Round it up. It's 100 years overdue. Is it going to fall in the ocean tomorrow? I don't know. That's an uncertainty, but I have to live with it. Do I have friends and family in California? Absolutely. I care. But if it does fall in the ocean, I can't do anything about it. So where people live is their business. I'm not going to move from a state because I'm afraid. I lived in California for over 30 years, even though they said it was going to fall in the ocean any day. It never did. Okay. So after a while, you learn to tolerate the fact that we just don't have all the answers. And that's okay. We don't have to have all the answers. So less need to explain or convince. So you make a decision, you like it. You don't need to justify it to anybody. It's your decision. You made it. And you thought about it. And you are comfortable with it. And you've integrated it. Wisdom reduces friction. And this one, what happens with wisdom is sometimes you just don't speak. You have to know your audience. And there's some people there's a lot of people who will hate what I'm saying, but that's okay. They won't be here. Okay. They don't listen to me. It's okay. No problem. I only want the people who I can help with what I say to be with me. So it does not increase it. So if you feel friction is going up, double check, have you fully integrated what you know? Are you using wise decision? Did you stop and check in? Is this really, did you use discernment with your decision? Because if you did, it doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter if they don't like what you're going to do. And you can just smile and say, thank you for the input and move on, because it doesn't matter. You can respect them, you can appreciate them, but they don't get to put you down or tell you you're wrong, because it's your decision, not theirs. So health, work, and relationships as the testing ground. The body reveals what the mind avoids. That's why everybody says body, mind, soul, and I don't. If you've been with me, you know I always go soul, mind, body. If you work at the soul level and you're meditating and you're listening to your thoughts, you will know what you need to do to be healthy. And if you're not doing that, and you're allowing these negative thoughts to impact your mind, that eventually starts impacting your emotions, your belly brain. And if you still don't listen, you start getting symptoms. And you go to the doctor and they say, well, I can't find anything wrong because it hasn't manifested yet on the physical plane. People get pain, all kinds of phantom symptoms because it's at the emotional level. So when you feel it and you do something about it at that level, you never get sick at this level, which is why I almost never get sick. If I do, I'm sick for a couple hours and I have some tea or something and I'm fine again. So if you're really, really sick, and okay, each of us has our Achilles heel, so to speak. Mine is digestion. So the first thing to break with me is my digestive system, something in the digestive system. So when I notice I've got some symptoms, what am I eating? What am I doing? What am I thinking? I go back and I work on it and I heal it. Some people, it's not their digestive system. It might be their heart. It might be their knees. It might be the kidneys. It's some other part of the body. So you need to know your ascendant and look in the sixth house, and it's going to tell you what that is, your daily routine. But if you're working top down, you're going to be very healthy and rarely ever get sick. Relationships are the testing ground. Are you getting triggered? Are people saying things and you're reacting? Why are you reacting? That's their business. If they don't like you or they don't like something you said, you can apologize if you care about the relationship, but some people are just trolls. Do I care about trolls? No, I just block them. You're gone. I had one guy, he doxed me on YouTube, said, I'm going to come and rape you and kill you. So needless to say, I reported him to you to the FBI, and the FBI said I had to report him to the local police also. There's nothing they can do, but he got kicked off of YouTube. So I have zero tolerance and I don't care. I don't spend, I know people that will spend a whole podcast talking about what trolls said. I don't care what trolls said. That's their business. That's their problem. They have to deal with it. So that's what you can watch in your relationships. Are you reacting instead of acting? And acting comes in many forms. It can say, oh, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I'm sorry. Or it can be, I need to use the restroom, or something came up. I need to take another call, whatever it is, to take your time out to get away so you can process it. Or you might just say something to set boundaries. Okay, I don't appreciate what you said, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you do in a positive way to reset your boundaries. But that's where you know how well you're doing, is how often are you getting upset because of what someone did or said? How often is it, where is it happening? Is it happening because you're getting sick? Is it happening because of people at work? Or is it happening with your relationships? So the body reveals what the mind avoids. Work shows where pressure is unstable. So if you're under pressure at work and you become unstable, there's something wrong with what you're doing at work and how your relationships are working there. Relationships reveal clarity or confusion. So if they're triggering you, or you don't know how to respond, or you're confused, it's a relationship issue. So integration appears here first. So where are your biggest challenges? And it's different for everybody. In the 90s, mine was health. Oh my God, I had 3 health-related near-death experiences in the 90s. I also had one in the 70s. That was the first one. And then I had one with my shamanic training. Is it at work? And I know I had patients that would come in, oh, work is driving me crazy. It's causing me to do this and that. Yeah, you need to work on integration at work, or you need to find a new job. I had a guy today, 2 days ago, deliver something, and he just messed it all up. And we were texting, and I finally says, if you can't do your job, maybe you need a new one. He says, okay, stop texting back. We won't go into that whole story, but I don't put up with that kind of incompetence by someone who is supposed to do their job. And if it's with your relationships, with family, with friends, I've had friends that I've had to block. I've had times where I spent 5 years not talking to my parents. And that's a whole long story. We don't, it doesn't matter what the story is. But after 5, I worked on myself for 5 years. And after 5 years, when I recontacted my parents, everything was fine because I no longer reacted. So when they did their crazy things, I either did a timeout, or there's something my dad used to do, and I just laughed. And I said, Dad, I was 6 months old. Really? You're holding me accountable for that? And he realized the absurdity. In the past, I would have gotten angry. So how are you doing in your relationships? And only you can do this. Okay. I can't do it for you. The danger of premature meaning making. So this is assigning meaning too early creates distortion. So when you hear something and you think it's true, and then you accept it as true, you could be going down a path that does not serve you. It may be demeaning who you are, which you should never do. As I said, every human on earth has unique fingerprints. That means every one of you is unique. And every one of you is special. Every one of you is chosen. Every one of you is needed for your own special gifts, and everybody has gifts. We just have different gifts. So explanation can become avoidance. So if you're saying, oh, I had to do it that way because, catch yourself. No, you didn't. You didn't discern before you moved. Or someone is bringing you down and you feel you have to justify yourself. No, you don't. If you made a wise, discerned decision, you never have to justify yourself. You can just say, thank you for the input and move on. Confusion often precedes clarity. So if you're still confused, it's time to go within. Like I said, hand on the heart, hand on the belly, do a quick meditation, connect to source, God, whatever you believe in, and ask, why am I confused? What do I need? Let meaning emerge after regulation. So once you're grounded, once you're calm, once you can hear your own thoughts, then let the meaning come forward for you. Remember, this is your answer. It's not someone else's answer. It's not, oh, I gotta go talk to a coach or whoever and find out the answer. They're going to give you their answer. You want your answer. Again, that's Pluto and Aquarius for you. Excuse me. I should take a little drink of water. I always start losing my voice when I talk a lot. Okay. Preparing for the March cycle without bracing or forcing. So we have new energies coming in March, as if February wasn't enough, especially this week. This is the busiest, most profound week, but we're going into eclipse season. And that's going to really hit us in March. What change asks of us? Not what they promise. Change asks for capacity, not prediction. Stability comes before transformation. So it's not what someone else thinks, someone else says, someone else promises. It's when you go within, you ground, you discern, you become stable within yourself. That's like me not talking to my parents for 5 years. I became stable and non-reactive, and you couldn't make me angry anymore. And now they couldn't trigger me. I became stable. It created transformation, not only for me and my relationships with my parents, but for them as well, because there was no more fighting and arguing for either of us. Well, 3 of us involved, but it also affected my siblings. So stability comes before transformation, and you are the only person who can create that stability. It comes from changing information to wisdom and transforming yourself, and by using discernment. I left that part out, sorry. So how to pace engagement with new material, less input, more digestion, one framework at a time. Rest is part of integration. This rest is part of integration is so important. I took 2 months off, and basically I'm off February because I'm still not doing much. I did the minimum this month to get this out for you. I had to put together the slides and the free gifts, but I'm still processing. I still don't know exactly what I'm going to do going forward. I redid the websites, but I'm going to still be making changes. And like I said, I'm not selling anything because everything says coming soon, because I haven't finished figuring out how I want to move going forward. So it's take time out if you need to. Take time out where you don't make a decision. You don't have to, there is no rush. It's like, oh, there's a sale and it's discounted and the sale goes away. They're creating urgency. Guess what? The next time there's a holiday, it'll be on sale again. It may be a better price and maybe even a better product. So don't allow urgency to push you. Stop if you need to. Depth requires space. So if you're just going really fast, you're not integrating. You're not changing information into wisdom. And if the information you have isn't helping you understand, that's when you want to go look for new material. I've studied with teachers and they'll go so far and it's great. And then they do something else. And no, I'm not going to continue with them. I'll continue with someone else. So that's where you have to be responsible for your own discernment, your own integration, and that creates your personal transformation. Again, Pluto in Aquarius is transformation. And some of you, if your chart is like mine, I have Pluto in the 8th house. The 8th house is about transformation. So I'm being double whammied with you need to change. As if I haven't been through change already in my life. Okay, so remember, you don't have to go fast to take a break, to go at your own pace. So readiness is stability. It's not excitement. If you're excited, your peripheral vision is narrowed. You need calm clarity, and that outlasts intensity. How often have you been excited about something? Did you stay excited? No, it passes. Maybe you get excited about something different next time. But when you're calm, do you always feel the same way about something? Well, unless it changes, probably. You know, if you like something, you're going to like something and you like it in a calm way. You don't have to get excited. It's like little kids that get excited about Christmas and then they crash afterwards. How many of you get excited about Christmas? Now, I like Christmas. It's the beginning of winter and I get to change my diet and eat some cool foods, meet up with people I haven't seen for a while, talk to people I haven't talked to for a while. It's fun, but I can do it with calm clarity because I'm an adult. Most adults don't go, oh, goody, it's Christmas. Oh, what kind of presents will be under the tree? Because you're not a kid anymore. So readiness feels grounded. If you're not grounded, you're not ready. You're not elevated. Okay. Sustainable change does not require adrenaline. So as you go and make your transformations internally, you're going to be doing it calmly. You're going to be doing it wisely. You're going to be doing it with wisdom. Okay, so let's talk for a moment. That was the podcast. I do want to mention that I will still have the Holistic Transformation Summit. I have it every March, and then the Healing Mastery Summit every fall, usually around September or October. So the summit is designed to provide clear frameworks without hype, practical tools for body and mind, grounded pacing, real life application, and integration space, and it's not a spectacle. As you know, I do have a VIP option. It's not available. You can't buy it right now, but it's also free. And I do broadcast it on YouTube live, but you have to be here to hear it. I had people last time say, well, I went there the next day and I couldn't watch it on YouTube. Well, yeah, it was live. You don't get to watch it later. If you want to watch it later, you need to be a VIP. But otherwise, if you want to watch it live, it will be there. Do I have the date? Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. So who this work is for and who is not for. It's for people who value clarity over certainty. Sorry, this should have been popped over. Grounded integration, internal authority. It is not for urgency or fear or identity reinforcement. In other words, your identity comes from you inside. It's your energy and what you project out. I cannot give you your identity. You create your identity using wisdom and discernment. But if you're grounded and you're your own internal authority, you will get value from the summit. So it will be, I don't have the date. It's March. Oh boy. This is about the next podcast. Let's see. It's March 28th. It's a Saturday. I usually start them around 9 a.m. I am interviewing Christine Breeze. She always supports my summits. I know a lot of you know Christine, and I'll be recording her on Friday. So I will have her because I like her perspective. She and I have the same values and the same belief system. We have totally different ways of approaching the same thing. So that you don't think my opinion is the only opinion or that my way is the only way. There are many, 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 many ways. You have to find the one that works best for you. That's why in my classes, I don't teach dogma. I don't say you have to be this or that, or you're not special. Everybody's special. Everybody's chosen. Everybody is okay. Whatever religion you have, whatever color you are, whatever you are, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. You're you, unique you, and this world needs. I mean, imagine if we were all the same. How boring that would be. The difference is what makes things fun and interesting, and people wonderful. So the March 11th, now starting in March, I will have a membership. So the podcast will be for the members. So after the activations of February, which we're in the middle of the biggest part of those activations, we'll talk about how to help the body integrate the change that you're experiencing. This conversation will focus on the nervous system, integration, pacing. Remember, we said allow space, take time out. So pacing is important. And completion. How do you know you're ready for transformation? Because it happens internally first. How do you externally start to manifest that? This conversation will continue in a more contained setting, only shorts on YouTube going forward. Now, I just invested, I have an app. Anybody who knows me knows I have an app, the Dancing Bear Enlightenment Academy. And the company that produced that app, Action Era, just came out with an Action Era Academy. And because I'm one of their current clients, I was invited to a talk and offered the ability to get in on the ground floor with a one-time payment. So I have it for life, no monthly payments. They're only taking the first 25. After that, you have to make monthly payments. And what it does is it replaces Facebook. Okay, which has become just ad after ad after ad. It's just awful. And I found it never click anything over on the right because I used to get all these viruses all the time. I stopped clicking things on the right and I stopped getting viruses. But everything in the middle is ads. How to do this, how to do that, get this, buy that. That's not why I'm there. So this will allow me to have private groups. So my members will be in a private group and we can chat. So wherever you are, we can have chat, and only us people who think alike, because if you're with me, you're awake and you only want to be with other awake people. I don't know about you, but I'm not interested in people who are trying to figure out which end is up. I want those of you who are doing your own interpersonal work and working on yourself, like I'm constantly working on myself. So this will be a place where we can collectively collaborate. I'm not smarter than any of you. I just have more experience. But I'm constantly learning. So it's a place where we can share ideas, and not get trolled. There will be no trolls. Trust me, if a troll shows up, they're instantly gone. And where you can be safe. At one of my summits, we had a man doing things that made the women feel unsafe. He was gone, instantly gone. Anybody that creates an unsafe environment, they're just gone. There will be the opportunity to have some open groups, like I have a essential oil group. I have a speaker group. So all the different groups that I have on Facebook, I'm going to migrate everything over to this other platform. It's not available yet, but it's free for you. You don't pay. I already paid. So when I invite you, you log in for free. I'll give you a special link. You log in for free, and then you can join my groups and other people like me most of the people in their audience are coaches and people that help people spiritually, people that you would enjoy, and you'll be able to join their groups as well. And it's free for you. Okay. So that's coming, and I'll talk about it in March, and you'll get an email about it once I get everything set up. I just did this 2 days ago. And yes, I stopped. I thought, do I want to do this? I did the heart belly. I did a meditation. I asked, do you really want to spend this money? I had to pull it out of savings. And I got yes. And this will replace Facebook, and we will be safe for what we say and what we share. Okay, the goal is not to keep up with change. The goal is to stay whole while it happens. That's when you get challenged, triggered, your nervous system is crazy. Like I said, I did a lot of podcasts on how to work with your vagus nerve. One of the things I do sometimes is I'll use lavender, and you just rub this muscle here in your neck is the, we call it the SCM, the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Just behind that, rub along that, and that's where your carotid artery is, and your vagus nerve. It's VAN, vein, artery, nerve. So the nerve is deepest, vein is on top, and then the carotid artery is underneath the vein. It's VAN. If you've been to medical school, they teach you that, how to remember what's there. But that's how you, one way, there's many ways, but that's one way to turn off the vagus nerve, because the vagus nerve is saying, go to fight or flight, go to fight or flight, turns off digestion. So if you're in fight or flight and you're eating, you're going to have digestive issues. Trust me, I lived with that for a long, long time. So this is going to be the end of the YouTube broadcast. If you want to get the gifts and the slides, this month it's free. The replay will be free. So if you go to adbo.com and join the community, all you have to do is what do you call it? Sign up for the newsletter, and you'll get a link for this, or you can email me when you get that, and I can tell you how to get the video, this video, and get the free gifts. Okay, so let's do a stop share. There we are. So I'm going to wait a few seconds because YouTube doesn't finish right away. So it looks like they're on the last slide. Let me see when it changes slides. Then I'll stop broadcasting to YouTube. In the meantime, I'm going to stop record. There we go. Okay, so let's stop being on YouTube. How do I